Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Luke Sword or Vexen from Kingdom Hearts, and like and subscribe to catch a ride next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Kaiden from Mass Effect, who's not as basic as I initially thought. He's got an interesting backstory, a weird combination of abilities, and some fun dialogue with the other crew members. I guess I thought since he was a human, he'd be as awful as Ashley. Ashley's so bad, she ruins other characters too.
Cut the cord. Are we human?
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to do some tech stuff, unplugging things and plugging them back in, or superheating bad guy weapons. Next, we need biotics. Humans with biotics generally gotta go through some stuff. You're just gonna go through low hit die classes. That's your torture. Finally, we'll get some space guns, even if you're not as good at using them as everyone else. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Intelligence will be number 1. Both tech and biotics can use the big brain. Dexterity next, you wear light armor and kind of use ranged weapons. Kind of. Constitution next, it's important to keep your concentration up, and you only die to space nukes. Follow that up with charisma. Kaiden is nice to talk to if you don't mind that he's not green or tentacle. Wisdom is a bit low, we just don't need it for anything, and we'll dump strength. If you got telekinesis, why would you work out? Not that Kaiden isn't buff, cause he is. Kaiden is a human. Humans can grab feats at level 1, like telekinetic, adding 1 to a score of your choice, like intelligence, and you can cast the mage hand cantrip, and it's invisible, to just lift objects of 10 pounds or less with your brain. Additionally, you can force a strength saving throw on a creature within 30 feet of yourself as a bonus action. Failing that, they're pushed back 5 feet, so it's a free shove using your superior intelligence modifier. Bump your intelligence with your 2 free points, grab perception for your skill of choice, and build your own background for medicine and persuasion. Call it the I was tortured to get superpowers background. We'll kick things off as an artificer. It gets more Kaiden powers early and more Kaiden skills like Arcana and History to understand biotics and to save time reading the codex. You're a magical tinkerer, letting you put tiny magical effects into tiny non-magical items, record a message, or leave a 25-word note for someone. That seems really popular in the Mass Effect galaxy. You get cantrips like message to send a 25-word message to someone within 120 feet of you, and they can whisper back so you can gossip about the Normandy crew. I heard Tali was doing calibrations with Garrus late at night. Light makes a light for you to see in the dark with your bad human eyes. For your first level spells, Cure Wounds heals 1d8 plus your intelligence modifier to a creature you touch as an action, and Kaiden can touch male or female shepherd. By the end of Mass Effect 3, Catapult lets you throw an object at a creature with your brain, forcing a dexterity saving throw on them and dealing 3d8 bludgeoning damage to those that fail. Second level artificers can make some infusions to make you better than the basic Alliance soldiers. Repeating shot gives you a ranged weapon with unlimited ammo. You can ignore the loading property, and it adds 1 to your tech and damage rolls for a better pistol. Enhanced defense adds 1 to the AC of a set of armor. It doesn't have to be heavy armor because Kaiden can only wear the light stuff. Bag of Holding will let you store all the exceptional bonuses like the +2 recoil dampener or the +3 recoil dampener. Goggles of Night will let you see in the dark with your bad human eyes without making a big bright light if you want to go on a stealth mission. Third level artificers can choose a specialty. Artillerists will get you some refreshing shields with an eldritch cannon. It doesn't have to be a cannon. It could also be a protector, letting you use your bonus action to give allies within 10 feet of you temporary HP equal to 1d8 plus your intelligence modifier. You could also get a force ballista for a concussive shot or a flamethrower for, a flamethrower, but those aren't Kaiden moves. Fourth level artificers get another ability score improvement. Start off boosting your intelligence for pretty much everything Kaiden is doing. Fifth level artillerists get an arcane firearm, adding a d8 to the damage of 1 spell attack cast through it per round. We don't have any spell attacks yet, but maybe we'll grab some soon. We're really here for second level artificer spells like heat metal, making a metal object really hot, dealing 2d8 fire damage to a creature holding or wearing it. On following turns, you can deal the damage again as a bonus action and force a constitution saving throw on the creature holding it. Failing that, they have to drop the object if they can, and on a success, they'll just have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks. When this is used against me, I can't stand it. I know you planned it. I'm going to set it straight. This Watergate. I guess I'm trying to tell y'all it's a sabotage. To be even more of a beastie boy though, we're gonna jump over to Wizard, letting you grab 3 cantrips from the Wizard list. Mind Sliver forces an intelligence saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they take 2d6 psychic damage and have a negative d4 penalty to their next saving throw, overloading them so someone can hit them harder. You also get 2 options for a cryoblast here. Ray of Frost is a ranged spell attack attack that deals 2d8 cold damage to a creature and slows their movement speed by 10 feet, or Frostbite, which forces a Constitution saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they take 2d6 cold damage and have disadvantage on their next attack roll. For first level spells, Shield is a different option for a shield, adding 5 to your AC as a reaction. Mage Armor makes a creature's AC 13 plus their Dexterity modifier for another Mass Effect barrier. False Life is a third way for extra shields with 1d4 plus 4 temporary HP. It's basically another hit die to not make you hit the die button. Ray of Sickness is a ranged spell attack that deals 2d8 poison damage and forces a Constitution saving throw on a creature. Failing that, they're poisoned until the end of your next turn. It can be a bit of a shock to your neurals to poop your pants because of a magic space laser. Identify lets you know what a magical item does and how many charges it has left, but I'll be real, you can get through all of Mass Effect 1 without modding any of your weapons. I know because I did. You'll die a lot, but I didn't know how to mod weapons the first time I played the game, so whoops. Wizards also get Arcane Recovery, letting you recover half your wizard level and spell slots on a short rest. Just relax on the Normandy for an hour and you'll be ready to go. Hayden hangs out near the mess hall. My man. Second level wizards get to choose a school, and Kaiden is so charming, I think enchantment is the only way to go. Hypnotic Gaze is a great neural shock, forcing a wisdom saving throw on a creature within 5 feet of you. Failing that, they're incapacitated until the end of your next turn, and you can repeat it over and over again to take someone out of the fight. For this level's spells, Ice Knife fires a ranged spell attack that deals 1d10 piercing damage and forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 5-foot radius of that attack, dealing 2d6 cold damage to those that fail for a bigger cryo blast. Absorb Elements gets you another way to resist damage by giving yourself resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage as a reaction. Then you can add a d6 of that damage to an attack next round. As always, I mentioned, the resistance, that's the good part. It's quite good. The extra damage, just a fun bonus. Third level wizards can learn second level spells like Hold Person to force a wisdom saving throw on a humanoid. Failing that, they're paralyzed for up to a minute depending on your concentration, letting the whole team unload on them. Levitate lifts an object weighing 500 pounds or less, and you can move it up or down 20 feet on the following turns. If you're lifting a creature that doesn't want to move, it makes a Constitution saving throw to resist going up. Fourth level wizards get another ability score improvement, round off your intelligence, then put an extra point into dexterity. I guess this boy is pretty mono ability dependent. We really just need intelligence. For this level spells, Ray of Enfeeblement also makes enemies weaker with a ranged spell attack that makes a creature deal half damage with strength-based attacks for up to a minute depending on your concentration. It's great for Thresher Maws or charging Krogans. Snillock's Noble Swarm isn't good really, but it forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 5-foot radius sphere, dealing 3d6 cold damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. That should really turn up the heat, or rather, turn down the heat. Fifth level wizards can learn third level spells. Counterspell shuts down spells of third level or lower automatically, and higher level spells with an intelligence check equal to 10 plus the spell's level, helping your shields prevent even funkier stuff from getting in. Intellect Fortress gives a creature resistance to psychic damage and advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws for up to an hour depending on your concentration, making you more resistant to other biotics. 6th level enchantment wizards get Instinctive Charm, letting you redirect an attack meant for you to hit another creature within range, forcing a wisdom saving throw on someone attacking you, even if hacking is more Tali's thing. For this level spell, Tongues lets you communicate with any creature that speaks at least one language, so there won't be any translation errors with all the aliens on the Citadel. Technically, everyone is an alien on the Citadel, except the Keepers. Slow forces a wisdom saving throw on up to 6 creatures in a 40-foot cube. Failing that, their movement speed is halved. They have a -2 penalty to their AC and dexterity saving throws. They can only make one attack or cast one spell per round. They can't take reactions, and if they want to cast a spell, you roll a d20. On an 11 or higher, they have to wait until next turn. That's a lot of effects. That's a big old neural shock. 7th level wizards can learn 4th level spells. Ice Storm forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 20-foot radius, 40-foot high cylinder. Failing that, they take 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage, half damage on a success, and the area becomes difficult terrain, so it kind of slows enemies down as well. Otiluk's Resilient Sphere will give you some stasis, creating an impenetrable sphere a creature can hang out in, though they can't make attacks or cast spells out of it either. If you're using it on an enemy, they can make a dexterity saving throw to jump out at the last minute. 8th level wizards get another ability score improvement or feat. We'll go for Resilient to round up your dexterity modifier, give you proficiency with dexterity saving throws. Those should help you with fireballs. We're gonna bounce back to the 3rd level for this level's spells. There's just so many good ones. Haste makes you a better soldier, doubling your movement speed, adding 2 to your AC AC, giving you advantage on dexterity saving throws, and an extra action to dash, disengage, hide, or make one more weapon attack, as long as you're using that repeating shot. When the spell ends in a minute, or if you drop concentration, you need to take a round off of actions and reactions, just, duck down behind some barrels for a second. Protection from energy gives a creature resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage for an hour depending on your concentration, which can help save spell slots rather than using absorb elements over and over again. 9th level wizards can learn 5th level spells like Enervation, which forces a dexterity saving throw on a creature, dealing 2d8 necrotic damage if they succeed, and 4d8 necrotic damage if they fail. On following turns, you can use your action to repeat the damage. The big reeve part of this is that you get to heal half the necrotic damage you deal. Since we're multi-classing spellcasters, you can also upcast this spell to deal an additional d8 of necrotic damage, which also means more healing. Hold monster is like hold person without the humanoid restriction, so even Thresher Maws will take a pause. Bars. 10th level enchantment wizards can split enchantment, letting you make an enchantment spell that would normally target one creature target 2 creatures instead. That means that hold monster will work on 2 monsters, which will be very, very helpful. Cone of Cold lets you force a constitution saving throw on creatures in a 60-foot cone, dealing 8d8 cold damage to those that fail, half as much to those that succeed. It's our final cryoblast because we're done casting spells, kind of. We're gonna bounce over to fighter to be a marginally better shooter, basically just because we have all of Kaiden's skills. Archery adds 2 to your attack rolls with a ranged weapon, making sure that you don't miss as much. Second Wind lets you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest for a little first aid just for you. The first person you should aid is yourself. Second level fighters get Action Surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest, mix up a spell with a shot, or spam Mind Sliver twice in 1 turn to chain it together. It's kind of fun to just spam the overload button. Third level fighters can choose a martial archetype. We're going for Eldritch Knight, not to learn any more spells, though you can learn some if you want from the wizard list, as long as they're abjuration or avocation of 1st level or lower, and you get 1 from any school of your choice. We're not here for weapon bond either, which lets you conjure a weapon you bond with as an action, so you can always have some heat on hand. We're literally just doing it for extra spell slots, or should I say spell slot. You're mostly a caster. Fighter just gives you a bigger hit die and a few little tools to help you out. 4th level fighters get another ability score improvement, bump your constitution for better HP and concentration. If you prefer Warcaster, that's fine. I see a lot of people who treat the Warcaster feat as a family member, and I'm happy for you. I just also want to not die. Our capstone is the 5th level fighter to attack twice with your action instead of once, or up to 4 times with an action surge. Cantrips are better though, so just use those. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you have a ton of spells to immobilize enemies and give the team advantage on attacks against them. You're also great at supporting the team with a healing spell you can upcast and lots of damage reduction spells as well. Finally, you have a bunch of utility with levitation, mage hands, and tongues to get things done with magic before the fighting even starts. For weaknesses, this is a little messy. It's specifically messy to stop you from getting higher level spells too, so drop those fighter levels at home. Shooting isn't as good as cantrips are. That also cuts out some ability score improvements, so intelligence is your only capped stat, and that means missing shots and dropping concentration. Finally, you've got a lot of concentration spells, and you can only have 1 up at a time. But Kaiden is a deep cut, with a wild combination of abilities that make him useful on the squad if you can figure out how to use him. I know everyone wants Garrus and Tali on every squad every time, but maybe next playthrough, look at this quirky human, or at the very least, nuke Ashley instead. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Vexen or Luke Sword from Kingdom Hearts, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.